Hello, good morning. Hi, it's me. Um, Hope you had a lovely weekend. Hope you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed here Monday morning, ready to do things. It's April 12th somehow. This year is so far. Kyle, how's it going? Man, you were just there right off the mark. That was impressive. According to Twitch, I've been streaming for 0 seconds, so it's very impressive that you're already there. So I kind of don't want to work on this. I kind of want to work on something different, but we're gonna work. We're gonna finish this. We're like so close to doing something. You have something different? Of course you do. Did you test the Twitch overlay stuff? Did it work? We gotta finish this thing. If not finish it, I mean at least get the beta in the stores. In fact, just one store. We can just get it in one store today. First, we gotta pick wallpaper, obviously. Also, I don't know. I want to build out bot made this a little more. So you do need volume control. Volume, I think, is pretty easy. Well, wait, no, it's not actually. Volume has a. That's that thing where we don't have any parameterized controls yet. We could maybe fix it if we had another delimiter. Well, let's talk about it because there's two solutions. I like this one. Actually, I need to switch here before I open this editor because it probably has work in it. Yup, can't look at that project. So like, you know, we have this solution right now where you can do all commands are just parsed. So it can be like, I can't type apparently. Or we just cool. That was weird. You know, you can have U2 VT like mute, big, top, left, whatever. And those things are all parsed independently and in any order. But what we don't have is something that has a parameter like this, because with our current system, you know, everything, our tokenization, yeah, I think tokenizing, there's the tokenization and the lexing. The tokenization is just split on spacebars. So that stuff is easy until you need to do something with a parameter. And so there's two solutions. Either you have to be really particular and you go through and you parse these one at a time and you build some command list and you just know that some things have an additional parameter. Is one way to do it. Which would be some amount of work for sure. Or the simpler version that's maybe not quite as tidy is something like this. And then you just have like 2 layers of, where did it try to put that? Anywhere scary? Okay. Just so paranoid about showing projects that I'm working on, like, and I don't even know. In some cases, the clients would not care, but in some cases, there's like, you know, NDAs and stuff. I'm not supposed to show stuff. Well, yeah, if you just put 50, potentially, well, not exactly. Like, you kind of could, but then you'd have to look at each of these and say, like, is it an integer? And so to be clear, there's 2 ways to approach this, right? Either one, you look at the list, and then you go through and you do each of those commands. And then you don't really have control over the order necessarily unless you build some separate list. Or you do what we do, and you basically just go through every possible command, and you see if that command exists, and if it exists, you execute it. And that makes it really easy. Doing this would let us keep our current tokenization, where we just split on spaces. And then tokens could further be split into an argument and a parameter, or an argument and a value, or something like that, like a secondary set of tokens. This would probably actually be the easiest, whether it's spacebar or equal sign. Because if they're just wide open parameters like this, it's pretty tricky. It's not the worst possible thing, but it would be. It's very different than what we're currently doing, so we'd have to do things in a different way. If we do this, we can keep doing it the current way. Oh, yeah, frickin' search. Frickin' search. Yeah, it just gets hard tokenization-wise, because that would need to be, like, whatever, search. And that could still be equal to whatever. Yeah, but as soon as there's spaces in this, you can't tokenize in the same way. You could maybe do a regex instead of a split. But we would be looking for things that were not enclosed in quotes. Yeah, it's a bit gross. I mean, you know... That's probably the more appropriate thing. It's just harder. I mean, we could potentially, actually, let me think about this for a second. Because we could probably still do it the way that we do it. I have to think about it a little bit. Because we could still cherry pick things out and just look and then like say, hey, we found this thing. At that point, look at the next thing. So it's a little weird. Like the tokenization. But maybe that's okay. It just would get weird. The place that it would be a real problem, if we did it the way I'm thinking of doing it, which is maybe not the right answer, is yeah, it would be a problem. Because if you did this, that would count as a big. If we just did the like search thing, meaning like if we just say, hey, was search included anywhere? If it was, then look for the next token. But that means that also when we looked for the big command, it would see that command. So we kind of would have to totally rewrite the tokenization. But we still want to be careful with the order that we parse it in, so we would not be able to just do these things one at a time. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely would take some thought. Well, okay, we could do that, but I don't want to work on this today. I want to work on the thing that I'm supposed to work on today. So sometime this week, we'll take a look at the video thing, but I want to actually work on the thing I'm working on. Start out the week with work on work, I think. I mean, maybe if we get through this, we'll take a look at it, or if I get too annoyed by this, but... Okay, so where we ended last week was like, we kind of have... That was weird. Why do you think you're continually plugging and plugging in? I mean, is it because of this incredibly cheap USB-C cable that came with this phone? Hope it's not the phone itself, that would suck. Weird. I hope that's the cable and not the phone. That would be pretty disappointing. Looks okay in there. Ish. Troubling. Do I have another USB-C cable within arm's reach? No. Not within arm's reach. Okay, well, we'll just hope that we're good. That's a bit of a concern, really. Okay, so we have not tried this latest build in this land. Oops. That was funny. That was 1000% not what I meant to do. The Unity Hub opened right underneath my mouse as I was clicking something else. Oops. Oops. Yeah, that was totally the wrong project. That project's released, though. So it's probably safe to show that one. Try that one more time. I mean, the quoted string thing is for sure annoying. That is definitely an annoying thing. But maybe we could do it with a regex. Or we could at least, where at least a quoted string would count as a single parameter. I don't know if they're any different. I'm not exactly sure. Clips, live streams, and VODs. Oh, this says embedding clips in a non-interactive frame. Does that mean you can't do clips in an interactive frame? So clips might be a no. There's no interactive. So yeah, clips would be a different thing basically. For some reason they built clips are just different. But VODs are the same as live streams. So VODs would be pretty easiest. Yeah, I think VODs would probably be easiest. We could potentially build clips, but it'd be a totally different thing. Like it's just for some reason they don't support interactive. Okay. So this thing is like it's almost a program. Now I'm worried about I mean, I got a good deal on this, and that's great and all, but I'm a little worried about the USB-C port. That'd be kind of a sad story. I'm gonna go get a USB-C cable and try, just to be sure. I'll be back in 2 shakes. It is weird. Maybe they just feel like, since clips are so short, that they don't need the interactive part. But then I don't understand, why wouldn't they just use the thing they already built? It's kind of weird. Okay, hope this cable's just terrible. Please just be a terrible cable. Let's try this other cable, which is maybe also terrible. This is not the right cable at all. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, cables are rough like that. Like, it's hard, you know? Cables are definitely... You can get real cheap cables, but real cheap cables are cheap. Especially if, you know, get like a multi-pack on Amazon of terrible lightning cables or something that are just going to all break immediately. You can at least get, you know, whatever. It sucks that Apple still is in lightning land in a lot of ways, but I do like that they have a cable certification program. So at least, and Apple cables are too expensive, of course, but at least you can get a certified cable from somebody and have some degree of confidence in it not being terrible, some slight degree. But it's also very possible to spend too much money on cables because there's lots of snake oil in cable land, especially like audio cables and stuff. Okay. I can slightly jiggle it, but when I jiggle this one, it doesn't like disconnect and reconnect 1,000 times. So it doesn't feel good, like just feeling wise, it feels a little not super great, but it's functional-ish. So this is the connected player. So we got a nice, kind of weird frame rate. Okay, let's go to drop. So that was our instantiations, which is good. I mean, you would expect that we have a crazy instantiation, but now they should be relatively light. What, that didn't seem light. So we have a number of problems. The clear button is not working. The randomize button is. Clear is not. Home is... Huh. Clear's just broken. There's no way to make it stop. Okay. That's pretty heavy. Like, look at that. What's going on there? A whole bunch of garbage. But that's not us instantiating new stuff. We're not even enabling and... Oh, we are enabling and disabling. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not great. Is that just from an enable? I don't understand this garbage allocation. Like, why? Okay, so the clear button on drop seems broken for mysterious reasons. Roll. Where's the... Not you, you. Yeah, look, okay. What is with all of these allocations? What are you doing, buddy? We're allocating all over the place. And it looks like it's all canvas stuff. So why? And then every once in a while there's a big one. That must be when we like move the rows back. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Our frame rate's okay. It's just a little annoying. I'd like to be more efficient than that. I also don't understand. Phone just wants to go to sleep. But clear works, randomize works, home works. On fade, randomize works. You must have some tiny allocations. Because yeah, the garbage collector's only clicking periodically, so it's not the worst thing. I don't know what we're allocating. Okay. This guy seems like it works. That's fade. Line, randomize. So much allocation, so much garbage collection. I don't know. What is all this? Like 43 kilobytes? It's all in the Canvas update pre-render stuff, so I don't know. It's all in Canvas land. Seemingly. Move gate. Gate we're not pooling, so it actually makes sense that there'd be allocations here, because we are instantiating stuff. Okay, ring. Tapping satellites. I can't. It was really hard to tap and toggle the satellite. Okay, we're getting actual bugs here. There's like actual stuff broken. This was not a debug build though. Seems like we have issues. Okay, so drop was not clearing. And ring buttons seem to be having issues. It feels a little like we broke the metronome somewhere. Like because there was a metronome tick and then there was an issue. So, okay, well, so we got some bugs. Why? Why we got some bugs? It's clear, it's clear not hooked up. Drop manager, track clear. Oh, I know the problem. We wrote all that pooling and then we didn't actually, we didn't write it. Oh man, that's a little annoying. Okay, let me think about the right way to do this. We didn't make it work. We didn't. It's probably just all commented out. Yeah. Okay, that would. Oh man. What? Oh boy. Okay. So this is a pretty weird one. How do we want to handle it? Do we just want to look in there and return everybody, or do we want the pool to know how to just return everything? So in other words, we would have just a list of things that were borrowed. And whenever we borrowed something, we'd remove it here and add it to the borrowed object. It's confusing to call this returned object. Oops. Multi-edit stuff, still not getting the hang of. Okay. And then the same thing would have to happen here. Right? And then I don't know if this is actually going to work. Public void return all. And then I think we have to iterate over these backwards. So this should just be, you know, whoever the last one is, we want to remove. I mean, basically just do this. Something like that. Go through all the borrowed objects, loop through them backwards and one at a time. So the one issue here is we are not disabling it. Which is a problem. You know, we had previously talked about having that return callback. Just as a way to say, hey, anytime you return something, do this. And either we do that or we just do what would that look like? Because we'd probably want to do it with this, where we had like an initialize callback. Hi, I don't know. I mean, or we just pass it in there. And just say, like, here's the thing you do. I don't know how I feel about that. So you would say, you know, you're going to call that callback with the borrowed object. So that's a return value. How do you do this if you don't want to return? Or the return value is what's first. So can you just put like I mean, that would be both. I think we need to look that up. What's the func situation? In and out. I mean, can out be void? So that's supposed to be the in. So that doesn't take a parameter. Doesn't make very much sense. Is that supposed to be the out? So out. I'm confused. The parameter of the method that this delegate, the type of the parameter, the type of the return value of the method that this delegate encapsulates. You can use either the type you specified or any type that is, like, if I just have, what? That's not true here, though. Yeah, that means that once arg, this almost feels backwards. Like, this doesn't... takes no argument. Action takes one argument and does not return a value. So we should just make this an action. instead. Well, this seems a little silly, but sure. So then we would call whatever we do here, and this is we're just going to do a system.enabled. And like, we could pass that to all these anytime we borrow and return. We kind of want to set that to be sort of global. So then that means we could do dropper pool.return all. And then something like that. And then, okay, so this won't affect the this won't affect the particles or the, interesting. What? One less than the count. That's the answer. Oh, that's funny. The ones that were growing. So, okay, so now we can, let's just try to do this and return them all. It's a little verbose. So this is just going to go through, return everything, and then as it returns, it will deactivate. So that kind of seems okay. It feels like there's probably some lurking problem in there. You see them in the old position when we clear before they appear. That must mean we're setting active before we set positions on some stuff. Which is weird. I mean, because it looks like we set the position, then set active. Could be in the dropper. Yeah. And in the, could just be that. It's pretty weird. Seems like we have a major problem here. Why are you over there? Yeah, something's not good. Like, growing is broken. Okay, basically everything's broken on drop right now, which is unfortunate. Something's wrong with our pooling, because I can just do this and it's okay. Yeah. Like, now we're busted. Now we're okay, now we're busted, like... It's pretty weird. I don't know if there's a problem with the set active ordering with the popping that was happening. Although this is, I mean, it's all in the same frame. So we're going to create a droplet, which is a borrow item. And borrow item doesn't do anything but give you an item, right? It doesn't, like... It just gives you the thing. This is just an alien version of that. There's green blood. I should make my pool smaller so it's a little easier to see what's going on, probably. You're so clearly in the wrong place. But then you're okay. It's like... So what I think happens... Here's what I think happens, actually. Is that probably... these are droplets that are... We're like in the process of growing or something like that, so that they still have their growing set active. So because when we drop, we say dropping equals true. That's all we really know about these guys, is whether dropping is true or false. So when these turn on, they should never be, I think. When you turn on, I mean, because you essentially want to reset these. So they should never be dropping. And then droppers, when they turn on, should probably... never be doing their thing. Okay. I think that was our issue. So it's weird that they have so I think we also need to set their initial growth scale or something. We just need to kind of reset their state. Like, how come, actually, that's a question. How come when I hit randomize, why is there anything? Is it because the droppers, probably because the droppers think they need to create. So droppers also probably need, yeah, this. Okay. This is just like bookkeeping stuff that I should have been more careful about. Of just make sure that, you know, when you make a new thing, you kind of reset it statefully. Or when you reuse, like that's kind of an issue of pooling, is that we've got to kind of reset it. Actually, so that's an issue here. Like, look at this.
Don't cry.
We don't really want this to be in start. Start stuff we only want to happen one time. So we're sort of just... So, like, we really, this should all be sort of an initialize. Do droplet... That's what we did with the particle burst, is we gave it an initialize and we just said... Or a reset, rather. That could get called whenever it needed to be called. So we could do that in there as well. In fact, we could make an interface for things that want to be pooled. Then we wouldn't even need the generic thing. It would just be like iPoolable or something. Oh, that's the way to do this. Because then all that special case stuff of like, oh, what do you do anytime there's an add or anytime there's a remove? You just enforce that in the interface. Oh man, do we want to rewrite this and make it cool? Still don't exactly understand why those are coming in big. Oh, I kind of want to totally rewrite the pool. I'm going to do it. I want to rewrite the pool. And this is going to be better. Because this is just going to take an iPoolable. Think? Something like this? This might be a terrible idea. This could be a terrible idea, but it could be a great idea. So I think I'm into it. I think I like this more. Oh wait, did I make it where I can command? I forgot. Do we command D stuff? The one downside is it's going to return an iPoolable, and then we would have to cast that. Do I actually care? From that perspective, the generics are actually kind of nice. But the thing is, so what I was thinking about was, say I had a poolable interface, then we could just have a like, you know, like if there's a pool create. And this would have to return an iPoolable. Would it? What would it return? It's going to return the thing that goes into the list. I don't know. Am I totally wrong about this? I just want to say, like, hey, when you get borrowed, you do this thing to yourself. The pool create, that one's actually pretty weird. That one doesn't work. That one's not. That one's not right. That's not actually correct. So that one would still, you'd probably have to pass because that, you know, you got to make the thing. So I don't like this idea of it being half generic, half based on generics, half based on interfaces. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? The interface one is kind of cool, except you've always got to cast. That is the one downside of that. So anytime you borrow, you've got to wrap that borrow in a cast. But like, that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, clearly it's break time. I've been working for a whole 54 minutes. Okay, so on-pool borrow, on-pool return. I kind of like that. Which one's better, which is worse? Is it more annoying to have to cast? Or is it more annoying to have to do these special, like, hey, I got returned, I got borrowed, callbacks, whatever. You just can't really do that. This thing doesn't really work for create because, you know, it has to exist. We could also do both. The mixture feels a little gross, but there's like kind of certain advantages and disadvantages of both. Like, so basically what this would mean is, how do you check for interface? You just cast it and see if it's null. So you could do something like this. Okay, so first of all, we could just do this. And then you could do something that was like, if T is an iPoolable, then can I do that? No, it's borrowed object. So you say if the borrowed object is a poolable object, then what? Then you call something like this. And actually, you don't even do that in here. You do it in here. So that seems kind of cool. It's a little annoying. Oops. We would then want to do it just feels, if Ben was here, he'd be upset at me for everything I'm doing. But probably. I don't know, maybe he'd love it. Oh my god, Ben has caught me doing this nightmare combination of generics and interfaces, but I don't know. I think this is like, it's kind of cool. So I'm trying to build a pooling system that just always works. And so I initially built it as generic, which works pretty well. Like you just, and the thing that's fancy about it is you pass it a callback that tells it how to create the thing. So it can even be, it doesn't have to be a mono behavior, but you can still pool stuff like game objects or whatever, like things that are mono behaviors. So it's pretty cool. And it does bookkeeping to see what's borrowed and what's in the pool. So all that was working well. The thing is, you know, with game objects, I probably want to do certain things when I borrow and return from the pool. Biggest example being to set active. Like when I borrow something, I want to set active. And when I return it, I want to set active false. And so I had to do that separately, but I was just building this function that would let you just return anything that was checked out, regardless of who had it. And in that case, I didn't know, you know, it was not as easy to just in one shot do the bookkeeping of like set active true, set active false. And I can't do that in here because I don't even know about Unity. I'm not in Unity land. I'm just in regular class land. So what I was thinking like, oh, if I used interfaces, then I could just, you know, these objects could have an interface that says, whenever I'm borrowed, do this. And whenever I'm returned, do this. So it's kind of like a, you know, whatever hooks I needed to do to like build things up and tear them down whenever I came in another pool would just automatically get called on these interfaces. And I think that's I like both of those things in isolation. Like the generic thing is working well, except for the one aspect of like, you know, what I was doing previously was passing these callbacks each time I needed to do something, which didn't feel great. Because it shouldn't be the responsibility of the person who's building things up and tearing them down to know how that thing should be torn up and built down. So in other words, I have the class that is borrowing, and then I have the class that's being borrowed. The borrowed class should be responsible for saying, this is how I'm born and this is how I died, the class that's instantiating shouldn't care. It shouldn't even know. It shouldn't even know about that. So that's why I started doing the interfaces. But now I'm in this situation where I have this weird combination of generics and interfaces, and it doesn't feel good. It feels like I don't want both of those. So one option is to leave it like this, where it's kind of this like slightly uncomfortable generic interface where possibly the generic that you're using might happen to implement this interface, but it might not, which maybe is good because then you have a little more flexibility there. Or I just change it and say, this is not a generic pool. It is a pool of iPoolables. And the only downside to that is that you then have to always have a cast. Yeah, that's kind of what I did. I mean, I just say like if it is iPoolable, call that thing, and if it's not iPoolable, don't call it. So that's okay, and I think that's fine. It just feels a little, I don't know. It feels a little uncomfortable to do like too fancy tricks, I guess. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I'm overthinking of it. But the alternative is you just it doesn't even have to be generic. Like you could get rid of all of the generics and just say everywhere that I have T here, I just say no, you have to use iPoolables. And then it's a requirement. Maybe I could do this. This might be weird. Should a class know how to create itself? I kind of think it... Should a class know how to tell somebody else how to instantiate it? I kind of think so. Is that crazy? No, yeah, it's self-contained. It's not like disgusting, and it's not like 4 layers of inheritance with weird stuff. It's just, it feels a little weird. I don't know, and maybe I'm just thinking of it wrong, but in my mind, in my heart, I think of like interfaces and generics as like 2 different solutions to a problem. And mixing them feels a little gross. Oh no, now that I just did this might be disgusting, but I might really like it. I kind of like this. An individual class needs to know how to create itself. And then in this case, it would return an iPoolable, which you'd have to cast though. Yeah, like you started getting up with some goofy cast stuff. Yeah, it's just, I guess maybe I'm overthinking it. I guess in my mind, because of that, they're kind of, I don't know, they kind of solve the same problem, so I sort of don't want to do both of them. And maybe that's just weird. Maybe there's no actual problem here. This though, so here's the problem. As soon as I do this, if I do this, where each individual class has to tell you how to instantiate it, which I kind of like, it means that the interface is no longer optional. And if the interface is no longer optional, there's almost no point to not making this all require, like it just has to be. The only downside of that is needing a cast. When you get back, when you borrow, you would have to cast. Would be the only downside to this that I could see. How gross is this? Kind of like it. So, in other words, when we do this thing and we create the pools, instead of having to pass this, so we get rid of this, we wouldn't do this anymore because you wouldn't have to on the fly tell it how to return, because the individual classes would know how to be returned. And then the on create, where did I do that? here. In this weird place, I would no longer have to pass the instructions. Oh, but I don't have the prefab. I don't know, man. I could also not do this anymore. This dumb thing that I don't like. I could just... maybe I still would need to do that, actually. I wish you could explicitly tell instantiate to be active or not active. So maybe I don't like that, because then that would be really weird. You'd have to, like... Okay, I'm going to leave it like this then. I feel like maybe the combo isn't as bad. You still have to pass the create, but the idea of being borrowed and returned is just an optional thing that you can choose to do or not. I don't know why poolable is a weird looking word. Kind of don't like it. It's kind of gross. But for example, like if a dropper was an iPoolable, then the borrow and return, it would just know what to do. It would be a... Whenever I get borrowed to do this, and whenever I get returned, do that. So that's where I drop burr, and then that means when I create a dropper, when I do this borrow here, oh shoot! Maybe I don't want to do that though, because that means that my... Oh man. Okay, maybe my ideas are all terrible. Because I might want to do stuff before... I might want to do stuff before set active. So never mind, that doesn't track. Whatever. I'm making this all too complicated. I like the idea of it, but that would be an issue. Like you really might want to so you almost certainly will want the ability to do stuff to a thing before you set it active. So from the outside. So never mind. We'll just make it where you can pass whatever you want, and you can pass fancy callbacks. If you feel like it. So we could, we could make those others have fancy callbacks, but maybe we want. Okay, whatever. It was too fancy. Too fancy. I still kind of like it. Oh. No, the parent. Yeah, okay. So I lied about what I said. Uh-oh. Man. You're freaking me out, phone. So I was wrong. I think, the idea of the borrowing class not knowing about what happens when the borrowed class gets built up or torn down, I don't think that's true. I think there are plenty of cases where you do care about, from the outside, what happens on the inside. I still don't know why when I randomize, though. Definitely bugs here. So I think what we actually want to do when we randomize is not create a drop. But instead just well, shoot. We kind of want to be able to create a dropper without calling start grow. Or we just have some ability to say, like, where it's not a and this guy would only do these things. And the dropper needs to be able to say auto grow, true? And then, I don't know if I like this. Good grief. So instead of like doing the actual thing like we're creating a drop, we're just going to create a dropper. Well, that's not right either, really. I know there's a bunch of duplicate code. I could certainly push these together because it's really just the ending. In fact, maybe that's all it should be. This is the bool. Alright, I'm gonna ignore that for a moment. So So we also need growing. What? There's something in here that feels a little wonky. Why not? Excuse me? Public. So what normally happens when we call create droplet and stop row? Normally, create droplet. Wait, we call both of those things? No, we call start grow and stop row. All this code is exactly the same. So it's really just whether or not we're calling so start grow always sets growing equal to true. Calls create droplet, and then when we stop it does all this business. And does this. But that's not what we want. Create target. Okay, that's actually what we want, is we just need to schedule. Okay, so what I just did, everything I just did was wrong. Count plus create step. I don't know, something like this. No, not drop, create, actually. I'm having some problems. Maybe something like that. That's lame. We kind of can't do this. I mean, unless you want to just schedule a create. We should be able to. I'm missing something here. Because that's normally what happens. So what happens the first time you drop? Growing equals true. I mean, you basically want this to happen. You want everything in here to happen. And I guess you just get the metronome count. So kind of all at once, you want to set all of these things, which should be okay. Maybe it is really just this. Or just now. Like, yeah, I'll try that. So when we create a dropper, I don't know. This feels a little weird. I wrote this a long time ago. I kind of don't know why I did it the way that I did it. Feels a little confusing. But there's this distinction between like actively, you know, doing this to actively create, and then like the subsequent creations. Like, you would have thought that would have worked. So why didn't it work? And why did you give me a line number that didn't make any sense? When I enabled you, I should have gotten a new create step. Schedule create should be equal to that. That's weird. Why are the line numbers wrong? Dropper 142. What? What? With your beat count. And in this case, the create beat step, just like random 2 to 5. And all I said was schedule a create, which should be the same as this. So like, I should be essentially saying like, hey, if this count is when we said You were supposed to do your thing. Do all your business. I feel like I kind of want to rewrite this whole thing, but I don't want to get into it. What are you talking about? I don't really understand this error. It's not making a lot of sense to me. What collection? Like these line numbers are weird. Is this just Visual Studio being awesome? Volume 1, the dropper, on beat, count. I mean, is this a deeper problem? Like create droplet is really, like, is this actually like the pool breaking or something? And it's just doing a bad job of... saying where the issue is? Why? Why would you break here? Why did you break on 8? It's 6. Switch to debug mode. So like multiple of these are doing their thing. Seemingly. Okay, now we get a number here. That makes a little more sense. Current droplet audio clip. Okay. Is that the only problem here? Is that the audio clip never gets set? Weird. Why was it? Not terrible. But I haven't really been working on big stuff in 2020.3 yet. Like this is almost one of my first 2020.3 projects. I feel like on most stuff I'm working on, I'm still 2019. That was a weird issue though. Like before I had debug mode turned on, it was not giving me the right line numbers. Cool. Okay, because we never called a stop grow. So what? If it's the drop target beat. So drop target beat is equal to -1. I'm pretty confused here. Create droplet. Whoa, really? I don't think I've seen that. That sounds horrible. That sounds not good. Okay, I feel like I've just broken something dumb here. All right, does a regular dude work? We create a drop begin, we create a drop end, and then we do all the business. So there's just something that isn't happening because we're not doing clip index. I mean, why do we even decide that on stop grow? Who calls stop grow? Well, this is just wrong anyway. I see, I see. Well, so the idea was, interesting. That's how we like determine the grow scale and all of that stuff, is to do it ourselves once. So if we're just creating the thing, create droplet is going to go until there's a grow scale, but like that won't happen. No, grow scale is based on time. So we do try to constrain it here. So this is a thing that only happens if a human does it. This thing should always happen, basically. This doesn't quite... There's still a problem here, clearly, but... Okay, so like, the issue is that we never have a grow scale. So that's fine. So we just want to say, when we randomize, we do need to randomize a grow scale. And it's just a random, I don't know, what's our, it just needs to be between 0.05 and 1. Okay, so that was two problems kind of disguised as one problem, complicated by the fact that Unity would not show the right line number. Okay, one. Something like that. It just doesn't have a size unless a human does it. So it's just, I don't know. It's not very tidy. It really could be broken up where it's very clear, like, if a human does a thing, this is what happens. But if it's automatically done, then, you know, so there's a separate set of instructions, but huh. So it's weird that they all grew at the same time, because isn't that supposed to be randomized? Whoop. Okay, I guess they're not. Maybe it just randomly happened. Okay. So that seems a little better, at least. Maybe not better, just not broken. That seems a little not broken-ish. Let's commit that. And then the other thing that was truly busted was the ring. Okay. So... Okay. And then ring... I don't know what the deal with ring was. Maybe all we really need is there's that feature. How did I do this? So like the satellite fill is a raycast target, and then maybe we make the raycast padding bigger. I don't know. It's hard to tell even what I'm clicking, actually. I can't quite tell if it's doing the thing that I think it should do. I don't even know if that's really visualized. That make it worse? Or is it something about the way these are layered? So let's make all of these not raycast targets. So that only the fill is the raycast target. Does that make things any better? Does that make it totally worse? Interesting. Bill is the raycast target. Okay, so Satellite is the dude that has the, yeah, all the babies on it. So why would only... I do that on all these, right? The Phil is the raycast target. Is that bad? Is raycast padding like backwards and not forwards? Did I make things worse instead of better? Okay, let's zero the raycast padding again, because maybe that does the exact opposite of what I think it does. There's no tooltip, seemingly. Tooltip? No. Maybe that can be negative? Okay. So don't do the thing that I did. And then, can this be negative 64? That would be pretty weird, but maybe not the weirdest. Okay, that gives a pretty healthy padding, maybe too much. The drag is still not great. So we have like this deep, deep problem. I feel like if I do this, this is going to make it harder to debug. But we kind of have this problem that if one metronome tick fails, basically the whole program's broken. And I don't know what to do about that other than just wrap a try around here. Oops. No. What is it? E.message. Because I don't want the metronome to fail. Maybe there's like one-off thing that just happens to fail on one of the dudes, one of the tracks, but I don't want that to tear down the entire application. Either subsequent beats on the same track or like going to another track should not fail because you've... There's still so many, I'm really troubled by / curious about all of the weird canvas allocations. We previously had that problem when we had on Pixel Perfect, but Pixel Perfect is not enabled. So I'm sure there's something we could do to figure that out, but I don't like it. You know, there's definitely always a cost to enable and disable, but it should be less than the cost of instantiate. We could do something silly where we didn't disable and enable, and we just, when stuff was in the pool, we just like had like a show and hide method on it. So it could just be there but turned off, but that feels not super great. I don't know. None of that seemed too offensive in terms of the actual performance hit. It is hard to grab these. Like, maybe they should have an even bigger boundary. Especially when they're moving. I mean, it's a fairly big boundary. Okay, what else was just straight up busted? Don't know. We totally ignored the problem of the safe zones just by having a huge amount of padding at the top and bottom. And I think I'm kind of okay with that to begin with. Like, everything in the UI is a bit small. I also just tried to swipe, and of course you can't. We could probably make that a thing. Be a little lame because we're dynamically loading and unloading things, but okay. Build and run. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break while we build and run, and I will BRB. Why are you so sleepy, phone? Okay, drop, randomize. Something's bad. Are we sure we're not, It's the frickin' bursts, for sure. But just enabling those? Is that heavy? Okay, the grabbing the rings and tapping the rings is more reasonable. It's everything's so tiny. Phones are tiny. We still have room to make things bigger on some of these, certainly. Like a ring. Gosh, I really want to be able to swipe between these. Uh-oh. Man. This sucks. I'm not pleased with this USB-C situation. I mean, maybe this cable is just problematic. My laptop one, kind of heavy duty. I mean, I got this renewed, quote unquote, Pixel 3a for pretty dang cheap, and in broadly speaking, it's in great shape. Very, like, I was impressed with the shape it's in. But the USB-C connector seems a little bit finicky. You hear it? Can I hear it? Okay. I think we have a beta. I think we might possibly. I don't really want to stick those builds though. April 12th. Why does that feel like it's an important day? Am I missing some important day? There's a funny thing that happens as you get older that I've noticed at least. Yeah, I had this it happens almost once a week, if at least a few times a month. Is there some day that is a significant day, but I can't remember why? And I'm pretty good. I have like birthdays and stuff like that in my calendar, important anniversaries, whatever. But it's just like over my life, there was probably at some point in my life where it was like, okay, April 12th is really important. Like that's the day my thesis is due, or whatever. I don't remember, but like the yeah. So I get all my reminders from a Google Calendar, and that's all good. But I guess my point is maybe 8 years ago, April 12th was really important. Like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I had like a major project due or a major, job delivery or my thesis for grad school or whatever. But I've forgotten the thing. I don't remember what the thing is, but there's just like some bit of like, oh, April 12th. Like the significance of April 12th has outlasted whatever the memory of this specific was. And so the further I get through life, the more of those I have. Because I remember like maybe early in my 20s, even late in my teens, there were maybe like 4 or 5 of those a year where it's like, okay, for some reason, February 21st seems important. And I don't know why. But now it happens all the time where it's like April 12th. There's something significant about April 12th. I guess I could go to my calendar and look back at all the April 12ths for the last 10 years. I also have a journal that I've kept for 20 years now, and I could just look at every April 12th. Kind of want to do that. Look at what I've been doing on April 12th for the last 20 years. Do I really want to do that on stream? I do it a little bit. So starting when it was this year, 20 years ago this year, I started writing in a journal, and then so like in 2001, I just did it every, not super regularly, just every few weeks or something. Like I don't have one for April 12th from 2001. And like the first few years I did it, it was like that. It was just kind of sporadic. Like if something interesting happened, it was maybe like a few times a week, maybe at most. And then later in my 20s, I started doing it every single day. And then when I was 29, I basically had like a nervous breakdown, and then I didn't do it for a while. And then it kind of took me a couple years to pick back up. But then most of the last 10 years, I've done it every day. Okay, April 12th, 2003. What was I doing? I was complaining about doing my taxes. I went to Guitar Center, got some gear, playing some guitar and piano, learning some Beatles songs. Weirdly, I was talking to a girl that I talked to yesterday. It's a little cringy to read my old even just the way I used to write. Okay, that doesn't seem like a very important day, gotta say. 2004, I was back in Amarillo working on a stock management system I was painting a guitar. Recording a song. I don't know what to do. I would, I like this. So I like that, for, you know, you could pick any day from the last 20 years and I could go, I have all the photos on my phone. I have my journal. I have email, instant messages, all that stuff. It's hard. The instant messages have gotten worse though. Like Apple iChat or Apple iMessage is really hard to search. Or like look at a specific time frame. It used to be better with other programs. Sadly. 2005, yeah, 2005 looks like I was doing basically every day. Looks like I was pretty depressed. 2005. Oh, interesting. Happens to do with the person that I was talking about, that I talked to yesterday. Wow. I don't know, where did I live then? LA? Chicago, maybe? Man, that was a bad day. Because it does not seem to be the day that I'm looking for. 2005, bad day. 2006? What was going on in 2006? I was making some inappropriate Easter-related art. I was back in Amarillo. Fixed my grandma's clock. Very exciting stuff. I don't know, man. I'm not a very happy person. Like I don't even, that word I don't even relate to really. Once in grad school, I did a project where I ran sentiment analysis on all of my journal entries. Up to that point, I was maybe like 34 at that time. And the predominant sentiment from all of my journal entries was disgust. There's some undergrad. This entry starts another day of naked people. I think that's because I was in a figure drawing class, I'm gonna guess. I don't really know why else I would be surrounded by naked people all day. 2008 was just school stuff. I don't know. Well, now we've made it this far. We might as well go up to today. So interestingly, yeah, 2009 was a bumpy year. So I have some spotty. I wonder why. Oh yeah. Well, that's when sure. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that was bad. I go to the hospital that day. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I'm traumatized by something that happened in 2009. But that was the 10th, not the 12th. So who can say? Let's see. 2010. I don't know if I was back to regular entries. Yeah, really not. I didn't write the entire month of May in 2010. 2010, not my best year, let's say. I've never been a naked bike ride. I'm usually I usually wear clothes. Call me crazy. I reported a podcast episode on. Oh, that's yesterday. 4/11/2011. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this day was never significant. Or maybe it was significant when I was a kid or something. Where was this? I was in Mexico, 2012. I wasn't naked though, as far as I know. I mean, I probably was at some point, you know. Where'd I live here? New York. It's kind of interesting that basically every year is in a different city, almost. Not quite, but almost. "2014. I was working on my thesis, so that's been due later. The subheader, yes, I change it every time, and it's never funny. It was maybe funny the first 3 weeks, and then now it's a terrible habit. In 2015, I was in 2015, due to weird circumstances, I was in a hotel room in Rancho Mirage, California, which I was sharing with a person who was one of the loves of my life, who I had dated when I was 19 years old. And at that time I was 35, so almost half a lifetime later. But we were not there romantically. And it was a weird situation. This entry starts, "Going crazy in the desert." Yeah. That was a weird situation. I don't really recommend it. "2016? Where did I even live? I was in Texas. I didn't live anywhere. 2017? I was here working at Wyden? "2018? Mm-hmm. I know this is not interesting at all, but I've made it this far, so now I have to see. I have to go further. So 2018, I was in Portland. Probably the last 2 years, I was probably in Portland. Well, it looks like April 12ths are generally a little bit of a bust. Kind of sick. And last year, sure was just some pandemic excitement. Oh, that was Easter last year. I played Animal Crossing and Doom all day. Very exciting. Okay, never mind. Nothing ever has exciting has ever happened on April 12th. Is the beta done, you think? You want to try it? You guys want to be my beta testers? I don't know how much trouble it is to put something on the Play Store. I thought I had done it, but now I didn't have an account. So I think I prepped things for the Play Store, but I guess other people have actually done the posting. I've done all, like basically every other store, but I have apparently never published directly to the Play Store. Let's see how annoying this is, and then we can spend a little time, I think, on the Video Monster. I think I know what to do. There's basically two options. Either we write a fancy parser, or we figure out a way to do it with regex, which maybe we could do it with regex. I don't even know what that emoji is. What is that emoji? Or that emote? Is it like a magical stalk of wheat? Okay. So anyway, I don't know that I've ever done this. Or if I did, maybe I did do it and it was just so long ago that the interface was totally different, but none of this is ringing a bell, and this account didn't have anything. So either I've did it on some of the work account. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't really matter. So where's like the actual upload? Like, I don't want to do that stuff yet. How much do I have to do that stuff before I can even do beta? So initial setup has to come first. Okay, I did set up a merchant. Let me see what I actually do. What is the price of my app? $1 million. Paid app. Paid. Pricing template. Set price. What's a pricing template? I don't want to do that. Set price. $1. Apply prices. This is going to be great. I'm going to be rich. I might make $1, possibly. Okay. Really don't like that they don't have a back button on this. So set up my store listing is annoying because they want me to upload tablet images, but I'm not releasing this on tablet. I don't want to. I just have to. Like, do I have to get approved? Sure. Seems lame. Not into it. Like, I don't really want to jump through all the hoops just to beta test, you know? But here we are, hoop jumping. So, whatever. Let's just try to do it fast. Where's the volume 1 icon? This isn't even actually, we actually made the colors weirder, but I think I did it with an Instagram filter. So, like, we got to be a little silly for this, I think. I don't think, because Illustrator's a bad program and Adobe's a bad company and they haven't added a new good feature to Illustrator in 25 years, I probably can't do the thing I actually want to do. Well, let's see. The thing I actually want to do is just eyedropper outside of an application that most other programs can do, but nope, Illustrator's too dumb to do that. So then we have to do this. Doesn't really look right. I really am dumb. I hate all the Adobe applications now, but I don't know how to replace them all. Also, just switch to Blender for everything, like a lunatic, and just do every single thing in Blender. Okay, what did you say? What do you want? You want an icon 512 by 512, transparent. I don't want to be transparent. Or JPEG, okay. But that's not going to be right. That's 1024. So isn't there an export? Save for web lets me do that. They're never going to find anything ever. Where did the design folder go? Oy. Okay. Didn't really keep the purpley blue background very well, did it? Okay, the feature graphic. 1024 by 500. Mm-hmm. Video. Phone screenshots. 2 to 8 screenshots. So these need to be... What? So I could just make these all the same aspect ratio. Why would you have to use different screenshots for tablet and phone if they're all the same aspect ratio? So that's up to 8, but 2 to 8 is required here. Whatever, dude. Okay, so we need to do the thing that I never remember, that I've done a trillion times. Well, let's just do a silly thing. Nope, not you. No, what's it called now? Screen capture, dot capture, screenshot. I don't know, you can do that. Capture screenshot into render texture. Capture screenshot as texture. That's new. This is gonna be weird. System.date. It's just system.date.now. Datetime.now. ToString. You give it a format here? S is sortable. Not the best way to do this, but fast way to do it. So now we should just be able to run, and let's make these. So these need to be something like this. Didn't work. Failed to store my screenshot. Why? Because it has a bunch of dumb characters in it? Okay. Can't really do that. I just don't remember the... I think it's HHMMSS? Like, it's not quite what you would think it would be. That's funny. Spacebar clicked randomize. Did it also... You know, this is all fine. I just don't really want to do it for just a beta, you know? What did I do? Okay, phone screenshot. Must have 2. So if I upload these, do I still have to upload these? Why? Why do I have to do this tablet stuff? Great. It's the same screenshot. Like, we can do nice screenshots at a certain point, but to me, that's like, you know, when I'm ready to release, then we will think about stuff like that. I don't know how to do this. Select testers. Who's going to be my testers? We'll give your app a temporary name until your app is set up and complete your app has been reviewed. Internal testers will see a temporary name when downloading your app. What? Do I have to do, are these two set? I feel like this is not a good interface. Like just broadly speaking, so far, this interface is not great. Are these two separate things? So do I have to, I have to do both of these, right? Like I have to create an email list. Whatever, dude. So I want Google to do this for me. And I think there's some way now where they can just manage the signing. Could be wrong about that. Meaning I don't have to do anything on the Unity side, but that could be incorrect. Oh. Sure. You got it. You got it, Google. You have to have language tags? Okay. So should this be volume 1 v whatever, or does it matter? Wait, did it let me upload a broken one and then... Uploaded an A that was signed in debug mode. Need to sign in release mode. Cool. It's not talking about this, right? I don't think so. Must be in the manifest or something? Or I need to do that. Release mode? Is that true? Or is that just a totally separate thing that happens to have the same name? We don't need all these scenes in this build. Just realized that. We need one scene in this build, actually. Try again. Okay. Just use a version number in the name because maybe one day we'll care. Maybe we'll care. I don't know. I'm usually pretty okay with dates as releases. I don't feel like semantic versioning is that important for an app on the like an art app on the Play Store. Okay. In fact, I don't know. I think I prefer dates for this. Maybe I'll regret that someday. Okay, let's upload again. Very exciting. Signed into debug mode. You need to sign your APK or Android bundle in release mode. I thought you didn't have to do this stuff if you did the manage, if like you let them manage it. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it seems I'm wrong. This does not. This is a weird Google Drive link. Did I do something wrong here? Do I have to do this? Not a development build. Okay, maybe I'm just wrong. I thought that you didn't need to do the keystore stuff if you did like their signing. Okay. I was just mistaken, apparently. Seems we have to do that. Okay. Player settings. Publish. Whatever. Key store manager. Key store. I don't care about a custom key store. Do I have to do this? Create a new key store by selecting a key store name and password. This looks like it has changed since then. I just don't really remember how this works. What is, I don't understand the, what, why, so there's like a key store username and password? Create a new key store by selecting a key store name and password. And then it's annoying. It sucks. Like the only word, it always sucks. Like publishing things to these storefronts is always not a pleasant process. And even for companies like Apple that say, that pride themselves on usability and good user experience, like it always sucks. And I only assume that's just because they don't have to care, because the developers have to use it and there's fewer developers. Like, I probably a lot of the disgust in my life comes from having to deal with stupid tech, like poorly implemented technology. Because there's no reason this needs to be this complicated. Zero. There's zero reason this needs to be hassle. And it's not like they're doing me a favor. I paid money to be listed here, and if I sell anything, they will take a cut of it. So like, it's not like they're performing a charity service or something. So, but what seems really stupid here that I don't understand like the key store has a password and the key has a password. It's just not documented well. Like, I don't know, alias, for what? What is this? What even is this? Like, what am I making here? It's not explicit about, like, pick an alias, but for what? What are you? Volume 1? I don't know. I don't know, man. You can be valid for 50 years. Great. Sounds great. I don't care if the passwords are different because I don't want to deal with this. Yes. And now I have to enter a password here for the thing I just did. And then I have to do this and enter another password. Are you going to stick that password in some plain text settings file that I'm going to accidentally show somewhere? Oh well. Probably. That's basically Unity's favorite hobby. Or Windows in general, I should say. Windows just loves to make me show things on stream. Loves it. Okay. Now what? Let's do another build. I think that's most annoying. This interface, I've definitely used much worse. Like, relatively speaking, this is not the worst. The main thing I don't like about this interface is it presents things as a checklist, but does not allow you to use them as a checklist. Like if you click into a thing to do it, there's no like back button or done button to take you back to where you want to be. Okay, save. Review release. We found some problems. Okay. Add at least one country or region to roll out this release. Why do you take me to documentation and not just take me to the place to do the thing you want me to do? That's bad user experience. It should say, click here to add some countries. Click here. No problem. I got you. Sorry for wasting your time, Scott. But no, it doesn't. It takes me to a bunch of documentation. So store presence, pricing, and distribution after I've selected an app. Dashboard. Store presence. I don't see a thing that says store presence, pricing, and distribution. There's nothing there that says pricing and distribution. Store presence. Are you a liar? This sucks. Why is that not part of the big checklist that said to do everything? Select countries and regions. How about that? That's under testing. This is not good. Here, select countries and regions. Under production, not under store presence. Add countries and regions. All of them. Yes. This is going to be great. Worldwide. Okay. Now how do I get back to the stupid upload thing? Create a new release. Did I lose my release I was working on? Yes. So now I have to do that again because we've just decided, yeah, awesome. Cool. Very cool. What was the other thing? I accidentally had 32-bit code. That wasn't on purpose. Set that up. That's interesting. So do I need to be IL2CPP? Just to make my build take 1,000 years? Why is everything so bad? That error message should have said, you need to pick countries, click here to pick countries. Instead, it took me to documentation that told me to click things that didn't exist. Seemingly. Seems like the documentation was out of date. And in the process of that, it made me lose the build I was in the middle of creating, seemingly. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just did it wrong. But like just clicking through that with what felt like the way a user would use the thing, it sucks. Sucks. Super sucks. So let's see if those passwords are stored in plain text, because that would be funny. Let's see it. Custom key store, and there's the path to it, and there's the alias, but it seemingly did not store the password there, so. Good job. Okay. Good. Ben, are your builds that are taking forever, are they IL2CPP, or are they mono? IL2CPP, just without fail, takes forever for me on this machine. On the Alien project, I just had to switch back to mono because I couldn't compile. They would just take forever. And I tried all the stuff. You know, I don't have any antivirus on here except for the Windows Defender, and I even went and added exceptions for all that. Maybe you have to add an exception per project. Maybe. It's not clear whether the exception is for like the path to the program that's running or the path to where things are happening. None of that stuff's very clear. It's not good. Okay. Well, that at least it finished. That's good. Stuff makes me so cranky. I don't want to be cranky. What? You need to use a different version code for your APK or Android app bundle because you already have one with version code 1. What? Do I? Do I have like a partial one done from last time? Let's create a new release, but was there not a way to like... I hate this. Releases. Okay. Why does this one have fewer... Well, let's discard. Okay, it did. So you're right. It didn't discard my old release. It just did not make it obvious how to get back to that release. And now this, after deleting that release, it has taken me somewhere else. And now I need to get back to wherever that was. Where was I? Here. Okay, so that actually did go okay. The version is an issue. Right. I forgot that Unity cared. Do I care about semantic versioning for this project? I don't, but maybe I should. It's just hard to go back in some ways because this is a big number. Well, let's do it. I need to get into the habit of always using semantic versioning, probably. Create a new release. Volume 1 V001. And now we gotta wait for that long IL2CPP build again. Cool. Okay, that one was less offensive. That's better. Okay. How we doing? Wish I felt more passionate about this app. It's like such a simple thing. And it feels like not that great. What are you talking about? Releases overview. Open this in a new tab. Well, I can't. I can't even open it in a new tab. There's no other releases. So how can you say... What? Is that stored somewhere else? Is that like is there some separate version that's in an Android manifest or something? Or like some other thing in publish settings? That'd be real dumb. I don't think so. You need to use a different version code for your APK or Android app bundle because you already have one with version code 1. Yeah, isn't that a thing where that's another... where there's like two things? No, I can't remember. I thought there's like the version and then there's version code. Am I totally misremembering that? Bundle version code. Why? So this gets copied from this, but version code is, I just don't remember what that means. Do I need to increase those? I truly don't remember. I just haven't had to deal with this stuff for a long time. Let's just avoid the problem. I kind of remember that. I mean, for the Oculus Store, other Android stuff having to increase both. I don't remember why. I don't actually remember at all what the distinction is. What's it going to complain about now? It's so exciting to see. How many times do I have to upload this? It's going to be mad about my Android version level, since I'm using API level 19 instead of 21 or whatever. I think I actually have 21 installed. I don't remember. I think that was the wrong one. Wait, was that wrong? That was the wrong one. Good grief. No, not you. I messed up. But let's just do this. That one was my fault. Maybe it's all my fault. I don't want to be cranky. Stuff like this makes me cranky. Why is this so hard? It's not even that it's hard. It's just tedious. Based on the first app bundle or APK in this release, but you can edit it. Did we finally do it? And the thing that gets worse is, like, you know, you might have to do this across many stores. I hate you. What? But they only have 32-bit native code. Did I screw something up? Was that 2 settings? That's my problem right there. Okay, that one was definitely my fault. It's kind of annoying that Unity defaults to 32-bit. I don't even care about 32-bit, but in fact, I don't care at all. I wonder if I even need it. I don't care. Okay, build. So it's going to make me upload this again, but it's going to be mad because the bundle identifier is going to be, it thinks it already knows about, even though it will be deleted. So it's going to be mad because I'm not increasing this number, probably. That's my guess. But I should just go ahead and increase it. I should just increase it because I don't care. And I think it's going to complain. I think it's starting to come back to me. It's been a couple years since I like deployed Android stuff. How do I fix this though? Like, can I not? I just have to say discard release. There's no like, hey, fix your release. What's all your dumb crap? To use the Android Play bundle, but not optimizing whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Now, do I need to turn this thing on though? There is that. Like, should I use this? I don't think so. I don't think I care very much. Okay, so anyway, I probably need to actually recompile this now. And seemingly, I can't edit that release. I just have to discard it. This is awesome. And even though that was totally discarded, I can't reuse the same bundle identifier when I upload. Cool, whatever, man. Should I use AAB? I don't know. Kind of want to do it. Is that better? Is it worse? Does it like separate the 32-bit and 64-bit code so that they can be downloaded separately, or do something else smart? Or is it not smart? Select electric companies Google Nest Smart programmable Wi-Fi thermostat for free. Oh look, here's some payments from Oculus for. I'm rich. $7. That's how you make the big bucks, right there. Okay, we got some abs, which is ever so slightly smaller. Let's try it. Let's try some abs. Can't wait to test these abs. Am I doing something bad? Should I be creating a testing release instead? Is this all like a poor choice? I don't think I care. Oh my gosh. Warnings. Can't be published yet. I'm not gonna do anything about this. Yeah, whatever. So I have a release. Can I just use that release for testing? Or do I have to create a release that is for testing? I feel like I don't really care that much. I kind of don't think I care. Create a new release. I did. I already did. Oh, that's open testing. Okay, so this is a little confusing. So that's testers you control. Open testing, anyone can join on Google Play. No. I think I should just, if it lets me, I should just do this. So how do I, how? Oh man. Review release. Complete the steps listed on the dashboard. Release your app early for internal testing without review. Should we do that first? No, I mean review. They don't review it. It means it doesn't go on the store. It's just a way to do testing without sending it to the store. Like I probably have to, like I could probably put in a few people's email address or something. But then I'd have to, I don't understand why these are all separate releases though. Why can't I just make one release and then say that this release is for, like, how do I do that? How do I just say, doesn't it seem real dumb? Releases overview. Here's my later release, track production. It's a draft release. So how do I like, can I just change the track? Can I change? This sucks. Your app cannot be published yet. So this is a production release. And if I go down to production, review and roll out the release. Edit release? No. Review release? Okay, start rollout to production. This release will enable all Google Play and your chosen. Sure, I don't care. It's in review. Okay, it's in review. Our hands are whatever. Maybe Google will care and they will like send an email and say, hey, you didn't do X, Y, or Z or whatever. And that's fine. I didn't really intend to do, I don't understand. Like, this is not good. I don't understand why. And maybe there's a way to do it. It's just not very obvious. You think you would be able to pick a release and just say, put it on a track. Like just say, hey, I want this release on a certain track. Maybe there's a way to do that somewhere. It's definitely not obvious. Like volume 1, view releases overview. The release dashboard is different than the release overview. That's for production. Like, I don't understand why I can't just say, hey, you are on track, whatever. Or maybe tracks only go forwards and not backwards. But as soon as I created that, I feel like I should have. Whatever, man. Whatever. We've released. We did a thing. Do I get an email that says combobulations? You kind of think I would, but seemingly not. View track? I don't know, man. It's in review. Go to publishing overview. As soon as they're approved, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see what happens. I'm so cranky now. So let's commit all that stuff, and then as a gift to Kyle for looking for being so patient, we will briefly look at Video Monster. But I need to eat some lunch at some point. So let's look at the parser. Okay, give me a recap. Give me like a feature. Just list out all the features you want. I don't really need this. Okay, I should also go create a... Oh, we gotta put all this on GitHub. Okay. We'll do that tomorrow. Okay, glitch. Password. What's this thing called? Video, please. Sleepy mode. Okay, and that is you. Okay. Okay, your wish list. Bottom right small is the default. VODs. Support image links. That'd be a new thing. That'd be a new module, really. Not too crazy hard, but... Hey, Yurch. Oh, because I'm trying to use Vim stuff. Not gonna work here. Just YouTube volume control or volume control in general? Yeah. Okay. Let's look at defaults first, because I agree with you that's probably the easiest. Kind of depends on how I did things, though. Ugh. So it may just be this easy. Autoplay. Wait, aren't we doing autoplay on YouTube already? Oh, like auto playlist or something, like just automatically. Yeah, I don't know either. We could probably come up with something, but I think you'd have to. I think that'd be a totally separate API. I think YouTube Search also is like, you know, just automatically play the next thing. That's probably a little bit more complicated. I don't, just with what I've seen so far. Okay, Scott made this. Made this. That's not the bottom right at all. Does that actually go on the player and not the container? I think it might. No, main div gets bottom, top. Player gets those. So we actually have two. Right. Okay. So I think we can still do it. I think it's just you're bottom right and you're small. Possibly. Okay. Bottom right small. Does that seem correct? I realize it's behind my dude, but okay. So that's the default. So with these other things, so volume kind of wants arguments. Twitch clips is kind of its own thing. So image support and Twitch clips they're a little bit their own thing. They're kind of separate modules because just for whatever weird reason, Twitch doesn't support. It uses a different player for those. So both of those kind of need like a new thing. Auto playlist, I'm not totally sure of. Both of these need better parsing. VODs might just work. So let's try that first. Can you give me a good link for a VOD? Because I kind of think we can do like a URL search, like look for URLs. Okay. Oh, that's a VOD of me. I guess I could have done that myself. So I think this is going to be a little bit terrible. Oh yeah, the play pause stuff. So that's channel or URL. So I think it looks something like URL. If we have a channel or a URL, or it has arguments there. If it is if channel or URL, then we need to do this thing. And then we need to either play the channel or the URL. Okay, so first let's make sure I didn't break PTV. Scott made this top right small mute. Okay, so that still worked. So now with the VOD, I don't know if this is gonna work at all, actually. Like, what did that do? Did that just break everything? Okay, that's not surprising because I don't think we didn't like try to support that. It would have been a bit of a miracle if it worked. So, like it almost sort of kind of worked. So the problem is, let's see if we even got to the point of like if our play. Okay, here's the deal. It's got, we need multiple dudes here. We need to be able to play channel because it's different calls, it would appear. So then we need like if channel ptv.play channel else if URL ptv.play URL or play VOD URL. I'm dying over here with these shortcuts. Something kind of like that. And then over here we need to add a... That's not right at all. Play. That's wrong. Shoot. We can't do that. Oh, man. Okay, we can't do that. Because that's how we were determining, like, the resume thing. You know, whether or not. We do this. We can do this in other languages. Not actually sure if we can in JavaScript. So if channel or URL, then we need an else if URL, and then we need this .player.set. So we want an interactive iframe. So it's set video. So maybe that works. I'm a little worried that that's going to break all the pause and resume work we did last time. I mean, we don't actually have to be this explicit, right? Because they could just be undefined. Okay. So all we really added is we're going to look for URLs now. And it just looks for something that starts with HTTP. And then we're going to look for either a URL or a channel, or if it has arguments play. If there's a URL or a channel, and we said hide, then we're going to hide it. Otherwise, it'll be show. Otherwise, if it has not hide or show, then we will say we'll use the previous state. Otherwise, we'll hide it. We will pause and hide YouTube no matter what, and then we'll call play with channel URL, which either of those could be blank. And then in here, we want to say if there's a channel, set the channel. I don't think this is right. Is that what it was before? I guess so. And it would have already been playing? Okay, so maybe we don't explicitly need to call those? Seems weird. Okay, so now TTV Scott made this, that's me, that's me, hi, that's me, hi, that's me, hi, that's me, hi, TTV, hi, TTV, hi, TTV resume. Is it not called resume? What do we call it? Just play? Uh-oh. Do we not? Would we call it resume or do we call it something else? Would we call it resume or do we call it something else? Okay, we just call it. Would we call it resume or do we call it something else? Okay, we just call it. Would we call it resume or do we call it something else? Okay, we just call it. Would we call it resume or do we call it something else? Okay, we just call it. Would we call it resume or do we call it something else? Okay, we just call it. Would we call it resume or do we call it something else? Okay, we just call it. Would we call it resume or do we call it something else? Okay, we just call it. Would we call it resume or do we call it? Okay, that's muted. Now let's try TTV with the VOD. Resume, resume, resume. Did we? Or did we put both? I don't even see resume in here. Did we just call it play? No, we did say resume. Why didn't resume work? Maybe it did. It says resume in here. But maybe... I don't even see it in here. Was resume just a lie? I guess we decided, I think we started to make it and then decided we didn't need it. So let's cut resume. Because I remember starting to do it. Looks like we already deleted it from YouTube. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think I'd started to add it and then delete it from YouTube and not the other place. Okay, so the VOD, not happy. So why is that? Let's see if we're actually getting anything in here. Like if we're getting to this point, that would be good. Yes. So we're making it to that point. To change the channel or video later, use set channel, set video, set collection, see synchronous player that controls. My worry is that you can't do that. Like that it's gonna break if you try to set video. Oh, it wants an ID, not a URL. Oh man. Okay, so we need to write a parser for that. How did we do it in YouTube land? Didn't we have to do something dumb? Yeah, URL parser. So we used this. Was this one smart enough for Twitch? Okay, it looks like it maybe knows Twitch. That's good. So we just need to do... I'm glad we got that library. Twitch. Okay, so we did get an ID. What did we have to do on the YouTube one? Why did that have other stuff? Oh, it has start time. Oh. Do we want to be able to support start times for the VODs? I'm not sure if... Does it support that? It does, actually. So we seems like we should be able to do it. I don't know if it works. I don't know if it works, but it's there. We'll just try it. If it works, terrific. So that gets us the ID and the start. Okay. Oh my gosh. Could you get me a URL with a start time in it? And we'll see if that works. There's me. It's me. Hello. It's me. Oh, can you not just do it from the VOD, dude? Is there not just like a... Oh, it doesn't automatically do it for you? Oh, it doesn't auto... Lame. How does anything work? I'm gonna report myself, I think. How do you clip settings, theater mode? I don't know how to work anything. How do you see VODs when a channel is running? We may never know. Should be obvious, right? Okay, you did it. Great, thanks. I feel like that didn't work. Hello, it's me again. Does that work in just a browser? Why is that? Weirdly not even working. Just put into a web browser. There it goes. No, that worked in the web browser. So it could be the library just doesn't support it. Yeah, okay, let's console.log. It could be the parser library just doesn't know how to do it for Twitch. That'd be unfortunate, but possibly the case. Okay. Hi, it's me again. Why did my voice sound like that? We have params. Params start is one. So I thought set video timestamp. Sets video to be played and starts playback at timestamp in seconds. Well, that's... What did you say? It should be 30 minutes, 28 seconds? $18.28? That seems right. So is there something wrong? I don't know. Okay. Hi, it's me again. A little bit out of it. Why did it start at this time? Yeah, it gets confused if you're already watching, apparently. No, it worked. It did work. I think it gets mad if you have the same VOD and then you try to play it again. It seems like it might be broken, but if you switch... So like jumping around in a single VOD maybe doesn't work. Try like 60 minutes. Yeah. Kind of lame. I guess you could try to do something like set video to null and then swap it. It's possible that this will break everything. Let's try this. Maybe if we force it. It's like, seems kind of flaky. Like, it seems like it works sometimes. Definitely forgetting something. It is a thing. It is a thing. It is a thing. It is a thing. Like, that should have done like a set channel. Should have done like a set channel. That seems to break it. This seems to break things. I don't think we can do that. I don't know. Seems like their player's a little flaky and that it gets mad if you do subsequent calls. If you just do one with a different one, like if you refresh, it should work. So let's try that one. Oops. I don't understand. It like worked twice and now it doesn't work. Okay, totally refreshed, nice and clean. Refresh and so clean. PTV. It got the offset. Maybe we should do it with two things and like call a seek instead. Does this music chill? Sounds a little Let's try it with two calls. Very slightly ominous. I don't know, man. Oh, you think so? You might be right. Like, very slightly ominous. But now if I do it, it does work. Cool. Okay, so now we will have... Okay, so it doesn't really work. It's just dumb. So that set video... It didn't really work. It's just because I called the same thing twice. And so it like... It kind of seems like set video. There's something wrong here. Sets the video to be played. Sets the video to be played. And starts playback at timestamp in seconds. Like very slightly ominous. Like we get the ID, and the ID is good. And the timestamp is just bad. But now you could seek. I don't know. I don't think this is Joe. We don't want to start with this. Huh. I mean, you could really, if I could do the seek thing, you can just call the call twice on top of itself. Or there's probably some event and we could wait until it was ready. But that actually seems broken. Like it sort of feels like you'd have to wait for an event. Like you'd get the player ready and then you'd call a seek. What Seek doesn't work on live streams, so I wonder if it breaks things. Does not work? Does that mean it breaks things, or it just is fine? That's pretty lame that their set video method doesn't work. Sets the video to be played and starts playback at timestamp in seconds. Is it dumb and it thinks that needs to be a... Let's just see, because it could be something stupid. Like, what if this was... Like, if it thought it was a... I don't even know. It thinks it's a number, so you think it would work. Yeah, seemingly, but it doesn't. But then it doesn't seem like it's actually reloading the VOD, so it's like accidentally just playing the... It was only when I added that secondary seek function.
Like very slightly ominous.
So I said to jump. What? Did it work that time? Now I'm confused as to what is working now. The 5,000.
Like very slightly ominous.
Why is it always jumping to the same point? So I'm like explicitly saying you need to jump 600 seconds in.
Like very slightly ominous.
Why do you always start there? Looks like they're emitting from the upper left corner. Why does it always start there?
Very slightly ominous.
What if I don't call anything here? Does it actually start at the beginning? What if it's actually like broken, poorly documented, and is it actually supposed to be milliseconds or something? No, it just always starts
Like
20 seconds in.
Slightly ominous.
Why? Why? Am I crazy?
Like very slightly ominous.
It just thinks it should start 60 seconds in, inexplicably. Well, but then it says moving to buffered region. $20. Is it mad because it can't? It's like hasn't actually seeked that far or something. Yeah, moving to buffered region 30. So why?
I don't know. I don't think this is true. We don't want to start with this.
Okay, so it seems dumb. I have an idea on how to work around it. It's not a great idea. I mean, it might be a great idea. It's annoying. Oh, why doesn't anything work the way it's supposed to? Nothing ever works. All software is bad. Cherry blossom stroll. Okay, so now we will have... Does that work? Seems like it worked. A drop particle. And this is going to be 128. Let's say we want to go 10 minutes, and this is going to be... I think I know how I want to do this. Problem is, it gets unhappy
There it
if you
is.
set. Okay, this will be really silly, but we can try this like double seek. Oops. I gotta stop using Vim shortcuts. I don't know. This probably is not really very good, but so basically we're saying if you're always try to seek if you can, and then no matter what, when you start playing, you should seek to where you're supposed to be. And maybe this covers all our scenarios. It doesn't need to be good. I know. I want it to be good. I don't like to make things that aren't good. Okay, that was 10 minutes. And now, while the same video is playing, I'm going to jump to 20 minutes. Okay, and now just to be sure... Can I
Yeah,
still
it's
do
kinda
Scott
good.
made this even though
Kinda
I'm
way
calling all the
better.
seek stuff? Scott made this even though
Kinda
I'm
way
calling all
better.
the seek stuff. Scott made this even though I'm calling all the seek stuff. Scott made this even though I'm calling...
I just want to go back.
Okay, it seems like it works. It seems okay. Okay, so what do we learn today? We made the default. We did these two. So these two are gonna take. We'll probably have to rewrite our parser, so that's a little bit bigger job. These are probably gonna be like new modules, so that's kind of a big job. And then this one I just don't even know. So I think that's probably good for today. Well, the clips just don't. Clips work totally differently. Like clips, all these commands that we're using, like seek and play and all that stuff, clips don't do that. So, which is, I don't know why. Like we built our Twitch bridge to totally use the interactive player so that we can send events and control it. Clips just don't support that. So I don't exactly know what to do about that. Like we would have to. What does a clip URL look like? Is it totally different? Actually, I guess I could look here. So if you just want to play a clip. Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Clips are just like straight up different. Like just fundamentally different, which is pretty lame. Like it would be annoying to even make it work with the same TTV. I guess you would just have to parse and look for clips. Yeah, it looks like it. Here's one they document is clips.twitch.tv. I don't know. Clips are probably going to have to... They would either... I mean, they just work totally differently, which is really lame. So we couldn't... We could maybe like shoehorn it into the current Twitch, you know, into this current Twitch bridge. Because the nice thing about our current Twitch bridge is we just create the player once and then we can just keep reusing it, which this does not allow for. Really, why, Twitch? Another example of awesome. Awesome Twitchness. So I don't know. That one seems like kind of a hassle, unfortunately. Maybe it goes. Well, it's already low on the list. Okay, I need to pee and eat lunch and do various things in that realm. So we've released something. I have no idea what's going to happen with it. I didn't get an email. So who can say? Who can say? I don't know. Clips. Oh, it's your number one feature? I'm saying it's the hardest. It's the biggest hassle. It's definitely the most annoying Well, the playlists are most annoying because we just don't even know. But other than playlists, like Eclipse or it's a totally different. There's no API, so you are just. We'd have to kind of build our own thing that dynamically creates. And I'm not even sure that the browsers would let us do that, honestly. Yeah, it's dumb. It's not good. Oh my gosh. No, it's definitely not copy paste. I mean, each of these, this module's tied directly to a single player that you instantiate from their API. So we would have to build a way to do that. So, I mean, it's certainly possible, but it's not trivial for sure. Because the player is tied, like our module is a player. They're sort of the same thing. And then we just have a wrapper that wraps all those things. So you could make multiple of these theoretically. Well, that doesn't seem very tidy. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. It wouldn't be instant for sure. We could probably figure that out. I don't know. The thing that I would maybe be most interested in working on next is just building a better parser, because that could be a useful thing for me in the future anyway. Possibly. The image thing I don't think would actually be very hard. But this seems like an interesting thing to do. Maybe. So anyway, I'm done for the day. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out, Kyle. And we'll just see what Google says. Who knows what they'll say. I don't know. Goodbye.